Great teams lose games, yes, but what they do after that is even more important. In the long attritional marathon of a league season, defeat is not an anomaly, but an inevitability, unless you're the Invincibles yourself. The true measure of a prospective champion lies not in an unblemished record, but in its response to the bitter taste of a loss. For Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, the last gasp 2-1 defeat at Villa Park was more than just a numerical setback. It was a profound and painful didactic. Yes, the unbeaten run is over. Yes, the lead at the summit is now perilously slender. But to engage in a post-mortem built on the simplistic power of hindsight, what should have been done, is to miss the point entirely. The more rigorous and ultimately more fruitful inquest lies in understanding what Arsenal were trying to do, why their methodology failed against Unai Emery's specific tactical cauldron, and what structural and mental lessons must be assimilated from the wreckage. This is an opportunity to use this data as the fuel for the upcoming fixtures and the season ahead. The league is neither won nor lost in the bleak midwinter of December, but it is here that the foundational resolve for the final spring offensive is forged. This loss, therefore, is not a final verdict, but a critical data point revealing both the team's lingering vulnerabilities and the path to rectifying them.
The contest was billed as a clash of styles. Arsenal's meticulous possession-based constriction against Aston Villa's high-energy transitional threat. For majority of the 90 minutes, however, it was a battle fought almost entirely on Villa's terms. Unai Emery's side successfully coaxed the league leaders into a frantic end-to-end basketball game, a style anathema to the controlled, suffocating dominance that has become Arsenal's hallmark. Instead of imposing their rhythm, Arsenal got sucked into a scrap. This was, first and foremost, a failure of mentality. After clawing their way back into the game with an equalizer, the logical next step was to re-establish control, quieten the vociferous home crowd, and methodically probe for a winner. Instead, the team displayed a curious inability to switch tactics, continuing to engage in a high-turnover, high-risk affair that played directly into Villa's hands. The game remained a chaotic whirlwind of duels and transitions, a scenario where Villa, with their rapid vertical attacks, were always likely to thrive. In the end, it was a fair result, but still close, as both teams bombarded each other with 15 shots each, creating 5-4 big chances, which tantamounts to an XG of 2.16 for Villa to 1.9 of Arsenal. Villa created chances of equal, if not superior, quality, and demonstrated a clearer understanding of how to win the game they had designed. To prevail in such a chaotic environment, a team requires near-perfect execution in both penalty areas. Arsenal, on this day, possessed neither. The performance was a frustrating symphony of profligacy in attack and uncharacteristic lapses in defense. The team's shooting was notably poor. Martin Ødegaard, the side's creative fulcrum, encapsulated this issue. His shots, while often well struck, were aimed directly at the goalkeeper, lacking the decisive placement required at this level. There were frustrating echoes of his performance at Old Trafford, where promising positions resulted in tame efforts. Compare his shots or Noni's effort to the decisive, confident strike from Villa's Matty Cash, a defender, and the contrast is stark. Elsewhere, the attack stuttered. Victor Gyökeres, often a whirlwind of perpetual motion, seemed strangely static, failing to make the clever runs in behind to disrupt the spaces in behind. Eberechi Eze, deployed in a wider role, looked lost. He is a player who thrives when receiving the ball high up the pitch, primed to create a moment of magic. At Arsenal, he is integrated deeper into the build-up phase, a role that appeared to neuter his most dangerous attributes. His most telling contributions, or the lack, was the key defensive trackback where Villa scored, and not the offensive devastation he was signed to provide. It was telling that Leandro Trossard, in a brief cameo, immediately looked more threatening, his natural clinicality and intelligent movement a stark reminder of what had been missing. Even more concerning was the collective drop in defensive standards. The stability that has been the bedrock of this team crumbled under Villa's pressure. A key tactical issue stemmed from Kieran Timber's aggressive high press, which left Piero Hincapié as a de facto sweeper. This forced Hincapié, a natural left footer, to cover vast spaces behind Timber, often dragging him into wide right channels that are unnatural to his positional instincts. This structural imbalance led to a chain reaction of individual errors and a sense of chaos over cohesion. Players were caught ball-watching, their positioning reactive rather than proactive. Villa brilliantly exploited this, repeatedly sending Morgan Rogers as an overload into the spaces vacated behind Arsenal's advanced left back, creating numerical advantages and clear-cut opportunities. The entire defensive unit, which usually operates with telepathic understanding, seemed disconnected and vulnerable. Arteta's assessment was one of raw disappointment, yet laced with a clear-eyed rationality. He acknowledged that Villa are a really good side whose style keeps opponents permanently on the edge. He lamented the unusual number of giveaways in the first half immediately after winning possession, fatal errors against a team built for transition. He felt the team responded positively after the interval, scoring the equaliser and genuinely believing they would go on and win the game. Yet it was the failure to convert that momentum into victory that stung the most. He pointed to two major missed chances, including a late cross of Declan Rice, as the moments where the game was lost. His description of the winning goal was an anatomy of Premier League ruthlessness: a long goal kick, a lost second ball, a quick throw, a spell of box chaos, and an unstoppable finish. It was, as he put it, the fine margins of this relentless league, where one lapse in concentration is all it takes. Despite the pain, he insisted the team had given him all the right reasons to believe they would bounce back, framing the loss within the context of an 18-game unbeaten run and the unforgiving nature of away fixtures. As Mikel Arteta said it himself, his telling desire for the next fixture to arrive immediately to purge the sting of defeat. He spoke of the need for emotional equilibrium, to not get too high with the wins nor too low with the losses. The unbeaten run was going to end at some point, he conceded, while admitting the emotional toll was heavy after feeling their immense effort hasn't been worth it. Yet in the next breath, he corrected himself, framing the experience as an essential part of their growth. So Gooners, this is the crux of the matter. A week in which away victories were a rare thing to see, this defeat provides context but not comfort. The real takeaways are internal. The need for better resource management, clearer profile optimization for players like Eze, and most importantly, the development of a dynamic mentality to navigate setbacks within a match. It is far better to have these deficiencies exposed now, with ample time to rectify them, than in the unforgiving crucible of April or May. The loss at Villa Park was a stark reminder that tactical identity must be married to adaptive intelligence. The true test of this Arsenal side will not be defined by this single result, but by its capacity to transmute the painful lessons of this chaotic evening into the unshakable resolve of a champion. The work, as Arteta knows, is always worth it. Now they must prove they have learned. With the Champions League midweek, the opportunities are there in abundance. Can they show it, or will they show it? Drop it in the comments. This is the Arsenal blueprint, and that was our brief from the Villa aftermath and the way forward. Thanks for joining in. Don't forget to like, hype, share, and subscribe. We'll be back soon, and until then, come on the Arsenal.